memory to spare. And in my mind I need a place to go, 'cause all my changes were there. Leave me helpless, helpless, helpless. Baby, can you hear me now? The chains are locked and tied across the floor. Oh, baby, sing to me somehow.
Hi, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Helpless by Neil Young. Beautiful song, relatively easy, just 3 chords, fairly simple rhythmically as well, lots of different approaches you can take. Big thank you there for Max Jury for joining me for the little intro playthrough, and we're going to do a full cover of this this song as well at the end of the video. You might want to stick around and check that out. Now, it's only got 3 chords, this tune, so what I figured I'd do is take you through kind of how to play it and then show you some ways of using a capo to change the kind of the chord grips that you use. It can kind of really open up some interesting possibilities with a tune like this. Something's definitely worth exploring for these kind of 3 chord songs. And as well, it's really important as well to figure out the key that suits your voice as well, you know, because picking the wrong key, you know, especially Neil's got some, he can sing pretty high, you know, and it can be difficult to sing it in those keys. So it's definitely worth exploring it on your own and trying a few different keys and seeing kind of what works well for you, you know. So it's a really, really simple little chord progression this. It's 2 beats on D, 2 beats on A, and then a whole bar of G, all the way through the tune. Very, very simple, this one. So we're just starting off with a D chord for 2 strums, then an A chord for 2 strums, and then a G chord for 4. 3, 4, and again, D, A, and G. 2, 3, 4. And this would be enough to get you going and playing along with the original recording. Just definitely, if you're a real beginner, you're new to the guitar thing, you know, still working on your chord changes, it's really good fun to just take a nice simple chord sequence like this and play along with the original one, keeping the strumming real simple. You don't need to do anything fancy. Just think that you're the rhythm guitar player in the band. Nice and simple. D, A, and G. Now, if you want to start fancying the rhythm up, there are loads of different kind of patterns that you can think of here for this kind of song. You might find it simpler to think of it as 4 bars. If you think of it as a bar on each chord and you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And you're just doing all down strums there, technically it should be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? But you can think of the same thing as being 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Here's a D, A, and G. 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, either one of those things is going to work okay. But what you do want to be aware of with that is where your accents are. So if you think of it for real, like the slower tempo, I think it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hear I'm putting a bit of an accent there on beats 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's a really big deal. Biggest deal is it keeping that hand moving, particularly for Neil Young stuff. It's really, really important. It's all about the feel and the groove and the time for his playing. And he's nearly always keeping his hand going. In fact, I can't think of any instances in any of the times I've seen him playing live where his hand hasn't moved consistently. Maybe if he's playing a riff occasionally. And on electric guitar, he's playing with the Crazy Horse. Doing the solo, definitely his hand's not moving continuously, but it's really an intrinsic part of his style. It's keeping that hand moving. And you can see, so long as you keep doing that, you can just play all downs occasionally let some upstrokes sneak in. It's not really, I'm not thinking of a set pattern. But if you keep your hand moving, your hand's still moving, even if I simplify it. You can see there by just leaving out some. You can bring it right down, make it really delicate and sweet, bring it up for the chorus. But this hand didn't really stop, just kept on moving all the time, and it's such a big deal for a song like this. You know, it's only got 3 chords. Definitely keeping the rhythm real simple is a good idea if you're a beginner, no question. But if you want to progress with it and take it that little step further, it's all about that rhythm and making sure your rhythm is really on, you know, really locked in and trying to make it feel good and feel nice. And that will allow you to kind of think about important stuff like dynamics, you know, how loud or soft you're playing, or, you know, later on maybe being able to add in some extra stuff. Okay, now songs like this don't normally need too much extra stuff. Okay, but you can put it in. It's some little ideas that you might want to play about with in this particular one before we get into exploring this capo idea. On a D chord, using your sus4 and your sus2, really nice. That kind of thing. Now on the A chord, you've also got A sus2, regular A, and A sus4. Now, if you get into doing it too much and go, it tends to just start, you know, being a bit over the top, you know. So you don't want to be doing that too much of that stuff, because it kind of spoils it. But definitely a little bit of a, it's just a nice little flavour. Remember as well, you've got a few different ways of playing G. If you want to incorporate doing scaly sort of stuff, okay, got a whole course on that in the folk fingerstyle chord. Okay, it's called chord scale relations. Those exercises you might want to check out. Probably not for beginners doing that, but straight away you've got some other things that you can try out. So let's have a quick chat about using the capo and how that might work to change the grips and therefore change the key. Now, hopefully you're familiar with the idea of the cage system. Again, there's lots of lessons on my site about the cage system if you're not really sure what it is. But basically the cage system is the 5 shapes that we've got. And if we look at our D chord, the top part of that D chord is the first part of a C chord. Okay, so you can kind of see there, I can use a D shape or I can use a C shape and kind of bar the 2nd fret. There is C chord, C chord, C sharp, D. Okay, now I'm using a bar there with my 1st finger, okay? But we could also use a capo for that, okay? Now if I play, got capo on the 2nd fret, I can play a C chord, sounds exactly the same as the D chord without a capo, okay? So that's the kind of the first step, is to work on that 1st chord. Now the 2nd chord was an A chord, okay? That's what we were playing there. So if you think around, that was an A chord. If you think what the next chord shape is after A, so C, A, G, whee! We've got that G chord. Now G chord here, the capo at the 2nd fret, it's not exactly the same, it's the same chord, just sounds slightly different because of the grip, okay? The last chord in that sequence was a G, and you can kind of see here, well there's the note G, if you think about, you know, that was the old chord that we were playing, the G chord. Now if we wanted to play something there, now it's still a G chord, but because of the capo it looks like an F chord relative to the capo. Okay, so try and get your head around that idea first of all, that we've put the capo on. Now I'm going to play exactly the same sequence, but by playing C, G, F. Again, C, G, F. 2, 3, 4, then D, A, G. You can hear it's exactly the same. It's the same sounds, right? D, A, G, put the capo on, and C, G, F. Now why would you want to do that? Well, for a start, there's a few things that you can do with the C chord that you couldn't do with a D chord. So you can get all of these. That's already a nice. There's all these little scale kind of things that you can add in there with the C chord, which straight away just give you another thing that you can do. And it's not that, it's just that those things wouldn't be possible because of the actual physical shape of the chord, and it can be a different thing. So straight away, that's the first kind of step along, you know, so learning that you can do it with the D, A and the G in the open position. You can put the capo on, and then you can use C, G and F. Okay, now that chord there was a C chord, right? That's the one with the capo 2. We've got a C chord. Sounds like a D chord, but it's a C chord. Now, the next shape up, if we're thinking along again with our cage system, C, A, okay? So you can use an A-shaped bar chord. There's the root note of our C chord, okay, there, it's at the 5th fret. So if we move that capo now up to the 5th fret and play an A chord, well, now it's a D chord, right? Harmonically, if piano player's playing a D chord, I can play that again. There's the open D chord, put the capo at the 5th fret, play an A chord. Sounds the same, okay? Second chord was an A chord. Now we're at the 5th fret, there's the E chord, okay? Before we were using a G shape, weren't we? After caged, C, A, G, E, okay? There's that. And the last chord that we had on the original chording was a G. We said that was going to be an F, okay? Now F, oh, hang on, where did that F come from? That's not in the cage system. Well, an F chord is really an E-shaped chord, okay? It's like a bar chord with using an E shape. So after E shape, C, A, G, E, D. So we'd be looking for a D chord. So again, now we've got exactly the same chord sequence, but now we're going A, E to D. A, D. It's the same chords. It's exactly the same chords, but by using a capo we can change the type of chord grip that we can use. It keeps going as well, may as well do that. So we're on the, here we were starting off with an A-shaped chord with a capo at the 5th fret. Think about it again. After the A, C, A, G. Now we're looking for some sort of G shape, and think about the physicality of those 3 notes together on the A chord. That's where we're going to put the capo down and play a G chord. We've got the same thing, it's still now a G chord. There's our root note on the 10th fret of the thicker string. There's lots of different ways of thinking about this, and the more ways you think about it, about the relationship between the chords, the better, okay? So we've got there a G shape now. And the next chord was an A chord. We wanted some sort of A chord here. Okay, it's going to be a D shape now. I'll let you choose which one of the ways you want to figure it out. And the last chord there was a G chord. We've got a G root note here. So it ends up being a C chord. Again, you can use the cage, C, A, G, E, D, and then move up a shape from the previous shape that you used, or you can just put the capo down and look for the root notes. So it's probably the way I do it more often than not, to tell the truth. But this is a really nice one, using G, D to C. This would be my choice. If I was doing a cover of this song, I'd probably be using this particular group of chord shapes because I like G, D and C for all of the little embellishments that you can get in with the chords. Again, something actually I just remembered as well, I've done a lesson called creative capoing, or something like that. creative capo, the creative capo or something. I think I probably chose that because capoing isn't a word. But anyway, well, I don't think it's a word. Maybe it's a word now. And one of those things that you can do is really explore the possibilities of each different chord grip that you might like to try out. Okay, because each one kind of lends itself to a particular flavor and different styles. And if you're doing finger style, for example, the A, D and E chord grip one, I really don't like that one, especially finishing on the D, which is just the thinnest 4 strings. Doesn't feel good for finger style, it's awful. But if you're a complete beginner and you only knew A, D and E chords, it would be brilliant. It'd be definitely the one to go for. So you can kind of choose there. You know, the second one was C, G and F. If you don't like F chord and you find that a difficult one under your fingers, that's not going to be the one for you. Okay? And remember, of course, all of these can be done without the capo as well, but it becomes a different key. So if we did it the first one, there is a town in North Ontario. Okay? That would be how it works. Dream, comfort, memories, despair. But that would be in Neil land really high. There's a town in North Ontario. It's really hard. Okay, so we could try the next shape, C. There's a G in North on F chord, Ontario. C. Dream, comfort, memories, spare. Okay, we could try that. We could try using the A chord. There's a town in North Ontario. This is now just using the A. And then go into D. Okay, we could try starting on the G chord version. There's a town in North Ontario. Straight away that feels nicer for me to sing. Dream, comfort, memories, spare. So to really, and then of course I could try those different shapes on different capo positions. Okay, like I think, now I'm trying to remember the thing that the cover I did with Max, I think was capo 3rd fret. And then using G. There is a town in North Ontario. That key. The dream, comfort, memories, despair. That's getting a bit low for me. I could sing it up an octave. That's getting a bit high for me. So, but you've got to find the right one for your voice with a song like this. You know, it makes all the difference. You know, I'm caught between rock and a hard place often doing these lessons because I try and do them in the original keys, but that makes it, you know, I'm not doing a song in the key for my voice. And even though I'm not a great singer at the best of times, trying to do not being a great singer and singing a song in the wrong key for my voice is, you know, you're asking for some pretty out of tune, heinous singing going on, and you shouldn't be doing that. I'm trying to do a lesson, a guitar lesson. If you're playing a song, you know, at a party or a barbecue, you want to be doing it in the key that works really well for you, especially if you're, I mean, whether you're singing it or just playing it, you know. As I said, you know, I'm mainly talking about vocals there for finding the key, but choosing these other different chord shapes is a nice one as well. Again, being able to simplify this song to just use A, E and D is great for a beginner that's only, you know, on stage 1 of my beginner's course, you've only learned A, D and E chords. So it's a really, really nice, you know, thing to be exploring, this capo idea. I know it's a big, it's turned into quite a big lesson for such a simple song, but I'm hoping, I just wanted to give you a little bit more than just, you know, here's A, D and E, you know, A, D and E or D, A and G or whatever, and off you go, you know, because there's more to it than that, and I think it's a lot of fun to explore. So I hope that's given you some ideas, and you get to enjoy this lovely song. If you don't know the version by the band as well, go and check that out. It's on the video called The Last Waltz. Superb, is probably my favourite version of this tune. So have fun with it, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
There is a town in North Ontario with dream, comfort, memory to spare. And in my mind I need a place to go, 'cause all my changes were there. Blue windows behind the stars, yellow on the rise. flying across the sky, throwing shadows on our eyes. Leave me helpless, helpless, helpless. Baby, can you hear me now? The chains are locked and tied across the floor. Baby, sing me somehow. Blue, blue windows behind the stars, yellow on the rise. Big birds flying across the sky, throwing shadows on our eyes. Leave me helpless, helpless, helpless. Baby, can you hear me now? Chains are locked and tied